LATD Nation, what's good? Of course, once again, we are back with another video as part of the month-long annual Spooktacular. Back with another Woeful Wednesday. Of course, I am one half of the crew, RG from the 843.
Of course, it's your boy Jay Fixit. How y'all doing?
Yes, sir. We got I don't want to say necessarily a classic movie, but kind of like a movie that a lot of people know, a very recognizable name in contemporary culture.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly contemporary horror culture. That would be Final Destination. The very first came out all the way back in 2000. We were a year old.
Word.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And now we 25 and 26.
That's going
going on 26 and 27.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Word.
I got till January. But anyways.
I got till next month.
Anyways. Most people are familiar with the Final Destination formula at this point. Basically, a character gets a random premonition of impending death.
Mm-hmm.
They cheat death. And then after that, the whole movie revolves around them trying to figure out how to continue to cheat death as everybody around them continues to die in one way or another.
Right.
Funny enough, this franchise actually was resurrected this year. Final Destination Bloodlines. Review on the channel right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this movie, this is the very beginning. This is where it all started. And right off the bat, I could say it's a very unique premise for its time, I would say, because this was 2000. So this was coming off of sort of the revitalization of the slasher genre that had been kind of slowing down in the 80s. Scream had just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, excuse me, had just came out.
A review on the channel.
Yep, just dropped that. So the slasher movie was kind of making a comeback in a big way in terms of contemporary mainstream horror. So this movie's kind of different in the sense that there's no true physical main antagonist going after them. It's the idea that death is coming after them, which is a very unique and interesting idea.
Right, because 9 times out of 10, death is signified by the Grim Reaper, you know, the cloaked up dude with the giant Reaper, the giant scythe. So yeah, death.
Maybe with the Jamaican accent.
That too.
That's a classic show.
Great show. And yeah, you want to get into opinions or?
I mean, we already know what the general idea of it is. Basically just the movie starts off with a character, Alex, the main character. He has a premonition about the plane that he's getting ready to get on and fly to Paris in with his classmates for this end of the year sort of senior trip. He has a premonition that is going to explode. He warns everybody that it's going to happen. Nobody believes him except for a few people. And as a result, the plane actually does end up exploding, which was crazy considering what would happen a year after, which we don't really need to get into. Everybody knows.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, this movie is essentially about Alex, this girl Clear, who's in his class, and a few other people who somewhat...
I never knew. I thought her name was like Claire or something.
I thought it was Claire too. I like Clear. I ain't never heard of no shit like that.
I met a girl named English before. I'm like
Clear though. That's a little bit different. But,
yeah, Clear.
But yeah, and also
she's white too.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that's basically the idea of the movie. Just them sort of learning to understand how death works, understanding how these things are happening, because he's initially blamed, somewhat held responsible for the deaths of his classmates, even though he was the one that warned other people and saved their lives.
Right, yeah.
The FBI's watching him. They don't trust him. Mm-hmm. They think that he's behind everybody else.
His teacher, played by Kristen Cloak, Valerie Luton. She don't trust him. She's scared of him, matter of fact.
Yeah, she's terrified of him.
Like all of these people are scared of him. They think he's cuckoo, he's a nutball, and
they think he's somebody to not be trusted. They think that he is behind it.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the sad part with the movie. Very sad. Not really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna get into opinions right now.
All right.
I said this about Final Destination Bloodlines, and I'm going to be real. Like, I had the consensus that it wasn't for me, and I didn't give it a grade back then, which I gave it an 8. I actually thought that movie was good. This one, though, I'm kind of still on the same boat. Like, it's not really too much for me. You know what I'm saying? Because especially with the kills and somehow they kind of like the revel in the kills and everything like that. And yeah, but the characters for me were I can honestly say were kind of the weakest parts. Like they were very much the same old cliche teenagers, like look over there, dad type shit.
Especially of the era too.
Yeah, and this was the early 2000s, so it's like this felt like an adult high school musical with killing in it.
I feel like this movie was kind of like indicative of the time. This movie almost is like a time capsule of that era because so many like horror cliches that were present in the 90s and the 2000s are in here. You have that jock, that stereotypical jock who's kind of a bully, kind of a jerk. Alex is more sort of that loser. Maybe he has one or two real friends. You got the girl that's kind of always the final girl, Clear. She's sort of she's sort of like the outcast girl that don't really have any friends, kind of keeps to herself. She's very pragmatic, so naturally she's kind of one of the people that survives the longest. You have the stereotypical quote unquote dumb blonde cheerleader.
Right, yeah, and then you got the stereotypical dumb blonde, he ain't blonde, but the stereotypical dumb male friend type stuff. And
For sure.
I'm surprised, and the one thing I'm surprised about this movie though, the black guy don't die.
There is no black people. That's why.
I mean, there's black people in this.
There's
movie.
a black person in the background.
They don't die.
I mean, not that we know.
Tony Todd is in this too, by the way.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, rest in peace to him.
Yeah, rest in peace, a legend, bro. He plays William Blood, something like that.
Yeah, sort of. He's in the coroner's office.
Yeah, he
kind of breaks down how everything works as far as like this cycle.
Right. And like I said, man, like this, the character work in the movie that came in Bloodlines was great.
Yeah,
you love him, you care about him. But as when they started dying, that's when I started really getting more sad for them. But this movie here, the characters are kind of like, other than Alex and Clear, I don't really care nothing else for these characters.
Not for real.
Performances
are good.
The performances are good, and that's one thing I will say, because it's mostly really about the kills and anything. And some of the kills, I don't know if this movie is meant to be funny or if it's meant to be serious. Yeah. But there's a couple of kills in here that had us dying laughing. And there's other kills that's like, golly, bro, you ain't had to do it like that. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's because like the reason why I'm there's not really much for me is because a lot of the people that we're supposed to root for that are like the good guys end up losing in the end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I have the consensus the way I do. Storyline wise, it's okay. There's a lot of the same dumb horror tropes in here too.
Oh, for sure. Like, a lot of really stupid horror tropes are in here. Kind of that fake out. They kind of make it seem like something's about to happen, but they kind of do it in a way to where that's not exactly how they meet their demise.
Right. And then Alex being the one that everybody's watching was kind of like the one of the main characters in Weapons that we were also reviewed on the channel. If y'all would like to check that out too. He's the main suspect in all of this, and his ass refuses just to stay home.
Nah, facts.
I'm like, he's like, I got to figure out what's going on, bro.
You?
Exactly. Just stay your ass home and be done.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
But then we wouldn't have a movie.
Well, I don't give a damn. Like, we would still have a movie. They could still make a movie out of that. He could just stay home and shut up.
I guess.
Yeah, but it's like, as y'all can probably tell, this movie kind of did make me a little mad. Because it was just kind of okay. Like, it wasn't great for me.
Progressively mid, as somebody would say on the internet these days.
Extremely progressively mid, bro. Like, well, mid it really means like I'm kind of here and there with it. There's moments that I loved and moments that I didn't care for.
I agree. I think one of the things that this movie really fails to do is establish a reason, like you said, and you kind of alluded to this. They fail rather to establish a reason to really care about these people, because you don't really know anything about Alex. That's one of the biggest things. You don't really get to know him like that at all. You get to know more about Clear, but even then it's kind of done in a way to where it's kind of glossed over. They don't really give you a chance to really have a real intimate moment with any of these characters. So as a result, it just kind of feels like they're just there just for the sake of being there. Like, it kind of feels like this could be like anybody's story. Like it doesn't feel like it's particularly their story. Anybody could have been on that plane, and anybody that was on that plane could have been these characters, and it wouldn't have been any different. They don't feel unique. So there's definitely that. So it doesn't really give you much of a reason to really care too much about what's going on with these people outside of just you're supposed to. The concept, like I said, is unique for its time, of course, but I feel like the funny thing is that the sequels of this movie actually ended up doing its own concept a lot better, like Bloodlines, for example.
It's probably the best one.
How they went and they actually gave you a reason to really care about these characters and explore their family dynamics and stuff like that. It took time to build these characters up. So when you did start seeing them kind of get picked off one by one, you felt sympathy for them because the movie established who they are and what they mean to each other.
Right. This one is just a bunch of random classmates that barely care about each other as it is.
Exactly.
Like
they just kind of been brought together by chance.
Yeah, they're literally about to fight each other right off the gate.
Yeah.
And right out of the gate. And it's just a lot of these characters, like I've said, man. I get that this movie's really about the kills. Like, isn't it like y'all are soft, man? Yo, it's not about the characters. Y'all don't know film, blah blah blah. You should stop podcasting. Rah. For all them people, shut up. But I get that this is mainly about the kills and the fact that it's Final Destination. It's not supposed to be a big character drama, but I'm just being real. If you want us to root for movies like these, good character work, at least decent character work, needs to be
established.
Exactly. So that's really the biggest gripe, and unfortunately the biggest and most notable flaw that made up this movie for me personally. Now, talking about the kills, they were okay.
Yeah, they were bad.
Bloodlines was way more creative and better and brutal.
Definitely.
But these still take the cake too, because I feel like while Bloodlines is more brutal and creative in a Mortal Kombat fatality type of way, this one is more of a I can see how this happened type of way.
Yeah.
Like, and these are more like in a way more I don't know how to say it. They're less cartoony, so they feel more grounded.
Yeah, they feel more grounded than those ones in Bloodlines did.
Yeah,
and later entries outside of just Bloodlines for sure.
Like, except for the bus scene. If you know, you know. Like the bus scene, had us laughing, bro. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be sadistic or anything like that, or to come across as sadistic.
But I feel like it was kind of meant to be funny, though. Yeah, I feel like the way that A set it up is meant to... And that's another thing that I have an issue with this movie is that it's so tonally inconsistent. Like, you can kind of tell some scenes, like some parts are meant to be kind of humorous, but overall the movie does have a pretty serious and even somber tone. I think it would have benefited more if it had just been straight up kind of like jokey.
You're right.
I think it would have been better off if they just made it kind of like, because the premise is already ridiculous in and of itself. The idea that death itself is trying to chase you and wear you down and whatnot.
Right. Because I remember there was a movie clip that I saw where a character is like struggling to get upstairs, and the next thing you know, and this is meant to be funny, they trip and then accidentally, well, I don't want to say it like, you know, but then accidentally have a gun in their hand and they accidentally, you know, blam. So, and then
they see themselves off.
Right. And that Joker was funny. Yeah. I wish more kills were like this in that movie. And we're more like this, more like that in this movie.
And I feel like, go ahead.
Because no, I definitely agree. Like, if this was played up more for laughs, then I feel like the movie would have been better.
I feel like the thing is that especially for the era where you had stuff like a Scream where it knew how to take itself not too seriously, but it still felt like it had that character work, and that's what really made Scream so successful. I feel like this could have been the same instance right here, where it knew not to take itself too serious, but it still gave you characters to root for and care for. It should have been more jokey, because that was kind of a big thing, kind of like, because, you know, Scary Movie was coming out at this time.
Right,
you know, parodying horror movies and kind of parodying the ridiculousness of the genre at this point. Because it had become so cliche and stereotypical.
O.J. Simpson jokes were at an all-time high.
Of course.
Like, all I know is I'm surprised that the Wayans brothers didn't take, like, a Scary Movie and, like, mock Final Destination or parody Final Destination and put OJ jokes in there.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
Nah, facts.
Because but it's just or put any other jokes with other characters in there because this is very satirical. You know what I'm saying? Like
at least
the scary
it feels
movies
like it could be. Scary movie was, but actually like
Final Destination.
Yeah. Nah, I feel like it's actually serious.
Yeah, it takes itself too seriously in this film. It's very much like another movie that took it. It's like Night Swim. In that regard, it's like not necessarily in quality because this movie is better than Night Swim.
Everything's better than Night Swim.
But if this movie had a little bit more of a jokiness, like we keep saying, then it would have been way better. It's like same thing with Night Swim. If Night Swim didn't take itself so seriously,
it could have been so much better. It would have been a good movie
because Night Swim was the type of funny that's unintentionally funny.
The facts.
This is the kind of funny that's still kind of unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
So it's
goofy. Yeah,
it's very goofy. And then there's a scene where Carter Horton played by Kurt Smith was did like, you know what, since we're all going to die anyway, we might as well get over with. And then
and everybody in the car's like, nigga, what?
Yeah, exactly. And then
what do you mean we?
And then he drives on some train tracks, and it's like while a train is coming, and then I'm just like, what are you doing, bro? Like, and right then and there is when the movie really started.
That's when you know it kind of flew off the rails. You know, pun intended. I couldn't help myself, but yeah, because it was ridiculous.
No, but you're right though.
It was ridiculous because I'm just sitting here and they're like, Carter, what are you? They're like, why are you doing this? Come on. I'm like, get out of the car.
And then he's like, it's not my time yet. And then he can't get out.
He's like, oh, shit.
Nigga, you driving the car. Unlock the door. Bloop, get out. Because the car wouldn't start, of course. Okay, I can see why that would happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, then the seatbelt wouldn't unbuckle. The door locked automatically. I'm like, man, bump this.
Hey,
bro.
come on, man. That thing was too funny. He said, it's not my time yet. But he's like, oh, you know what? Never mind.
And then the other dude, I forgot his name, Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
He gets killed because there's like a piece of metal on the train tracks.
That kind of like gets launched up from underneath it. And he's like in mid-sentence. You can kind of tell because they kind of telegraph it.
Yeah,
that's another big trope of like movies of this era. They kind of telegraph a character dying because they would like go on this long spiel or whatever, this rant.
Or you can see the clear green screen in the background.
That, or you could see like, subtitles on, like it would cut off mid-line. Yeah. That's another, that was a big indication right there.
Like, as y'all can tell, man, like this movie, it is goofy. I feel like there's an actor in here that's very, Roger Guinevere Smith, who plays Agent Shrek.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Shrek. This was before Shrek, I think. Because I think Shrek was in like 2002.
Yeah, Shrek was like in 2002.
Yeah, okay. But it kind of supersedes that.
He's a great actor for who he is. Like, if y'all know him, he's from Roger Guinevere Smith. He's from he's been affiliated with Spike Lee many times. Do the Right Thing. He was in Dope. That wasn't a Spike Lee movie, but he was in Do the Right Thing, Dope. He Got Game, and plenty of other movies, man. He's actually a really good actor, and I feel like they kind of waste his character here.
Yeah,
it's like they have the funny bumbling buddy cop, and he's 70.
Well, damn.
Small world. I mean, he light skinned, but I guess black don't crack anyway. So it's like they have these two cops that are FBI agents. That could have been the comedic relief right there. I'm sorry, y'all. That could have been the comedic relief right there.
Yeah.
Because this movie just, like I said, it takes itself way too seriously. I feel like that train scene was supposed to be taken seriously too.
It was, but it was unintentionally fun. That thing was too funny.
Like, it was stupid. And like I said, right then and there is when I started getting taken out of the movie. But go ahead, bro. You take it.
I mean, overall, that's pretty much all I have to say in the movie. I mean, it's something to watch.
Yeah,
it really definitely doesn't merit. I can see how and why it became
Let me look at the
such a cultural phenomenon. I can see why it kind of found that cult following just based on its premise and its concept alone. But honestly, by today's standards and how they do horror movies, this doesn't really necessarily hold up, other than it's just something to just watch in the Halloween season.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. Don't
Yeah,
get me
yeah,
wrong.
okay. And this is the one thing that I'll say. Just because I didn't care much for it, it's more from a genre standpoint rather than it's a full-on bad movie. Because it's not. Like, I do agree with you. It was just something to watch as well. But for this to be the first movie in this whole franchise, it wasn't bad. It had it was a worthy start.
Yeah.
Because as time went on, the movies did get better. So
They started to know more of what they were. They had self-awareness.
Exactly. So it's like I won't be so hard on the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's just for this one, it was just more of a low something to watch, man.
I mean, I ain't mad at that, to be real with you.
Yeah, it didn't matter if you were. But anyway, no, I'm just messing with you. But anyway, man, I've been Jay.
This has been Rodney.
We're at LATD. We got more videos coming. Well, stay tuned for Frightful Friday. We might have a special one for that. You know what I'm saying? May involve some candy, may involve some tails. We don't know. With that being said, remember, look at the details. Peace.